Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Comes to you live from our comfy couch here on the outskirts of the internet. This is the Gaming Saloon Reviews for December 11th, 2022, with your host, Beefbugger2448, and Rump It Up Salon.
Hi. We watched 4 episodes of a show this week.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about Geats before we got going.
I still get the feeling that there's 2 game masters. That's all I'm gonna put out there.
I think the whole premise of the movie is that there are multiple game masters because 2 of them show up and declare a different game is going on. Well, another game master and a different navigator that's not Sumiri, which, because of the events of this episode, we now know that there's been at least 3 navigators, I guess.
I mean, if we're still following the original iteration of the game, then I guess 2. And then the movie introduces the 3rd.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think now, like, okay, because when Punk Jack said that, like, his mom was probably Sumiri's predecessor as navigator, I'm like, are we doing this again where Sumiri is technically his mom? Well, when he initially started saying that before saying she was Sumiri's predecessor, I'm like, oh god, no, don't tell me Sumiri is his mom.
Yeah, when I saw that he thought that the name was a previous navigator, I'm like, oh no. Oh no. No.
But no, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a case of like, oh, she's the one before Sumiri, but I'm like, okay. Why did Sumiri replace her then? And why is that keeping Geats away from her? What?
But you know what's immensely funny? Punkcheck made a point. Geats already knew who the game master was, he just needed confirmation.
Yeah.
Because if you think about that, if his mom was the previous navigator, it technically means that Sumiri would be his sister.
Yeah, because of his current wish and all that. Which I'm sure, again, she loves so much.
Okay, I swear, people are probably going to get very, very aggravated by the end of the show about this, but I feel like it's very possibly could be the true game master, and yeah.
I feel like he will become a game master by the end of the show, but I don't think he currently is one.
I feel like he is, but not in the sense of what we've seen thus far. That, or it's going to be some kind of weird screwed up thing where Gates and the Game Master are the same person, but like different sides of a coin or something stupid like that. And I swear if I get that right, oh my god.
Gotta get that coin in there somehow.
Because that's what it's almost feeling like, because he's almost staying a step ahead. But as I was telling you about the whole reason why I think there's 2 game masters right now, he always seems to stay a step ahead of Geats. So it's making me wonder, because like I said, it seems odd that he talks out of both sides of his mouth to Punkjack.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing darn good and well that Gates is going for information right now.
Yeah.
That's what really makes it seem off. And I'm like, there's two of you, aren't there?
So, some part of me thinks it might have partially been convenience, because otherwise problem would have been solved before long.
I don't know.
Or we would have had no reason. We had no reason for Glare to show up, because Punk Jack would have handled it.
I don't know, because I think on a writing standpoint, they still could have played it out to where that would have happened.
Yeah.
Because in all seriousness, Yeats and Punk Jack had absolutely no bearing on the end of that round.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think from a story writing point that was the reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong, but I don't see that.
Yeah.
Because heck, even if you took Punk Jack out of that equation there completely, most of that could still go on. Not to mention, we have kind of seen Punk Jack like to manipulate others.
Mm-hmm.
Feel like that would have been better to have seen him try his hand at manipulating one of the others to keep Keats from being able to get a driver.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can say on a this definitely made everyone happy. Nako's bodyguards turning out to be riders from a previous DGP. This is wonderful to see, since Tom Constantine plays one of them, and he's longtime community member, went to Japan to do stunt work and stuff, and has now officially got to be a rider. We haven't got to see his suit yet, but like, it's a unique ID core. Both of theirs are actually unique ID cores. Fortunately, their animals are a bit on the nose, because Tom's is a white tiger, and the other guy's is a black panther. You can probably guess why they picked those animals.
Yeah.
It's a little too on the nose, but I'm like, I don't fucking care. They got to be riders. Since they're fucking unique ass ID cores, and they like, for some reason, Nako's dad had it in her office, had him in her office. I'm like, or his office. I'm like, there has to be they have to be showing up as riders. Like, it's just two helmets. Like, they could just make two more helmets and just have it be on entry bodies and just give them like fucking armed weapons like they had in the flashback. I need this to happen.
I'm not saying that couldn't happen.
Right.
But it's one of those, it depends on how the story's going.
Right.
Especially now that we're seeing the show is actually fine with introducing more drivers.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me if maybe we see driver upgrades for everyone, and that might be how we get them to be riders.
Okay, so supposedly, what's the rumor? I forget what the rumor is offhand. Supposedly, there's supposed to be some card-based riders introduced in the second quarter. I think that's kind of what Glare is, but something a little bit more universal. And there's supposed to be, I believe, a fox and I think, I'm trying to remember if it was a bull one. Let me see, is this it? Yeah, a silver fox and a red bison. And they're supposed to transform with carts. But I don't know if these are supposed to be Geats and Buffa. I think they're supposed to be different riders. Because it says the red bison's supposed to be CG, but the silver fox is supposed to be human. And like, yeah, and Mark II is supposed to come out in March, and then what was it? I want to say we already got the rumor for Mark 9, or confirmation, or like a rumor stating that there is a Mark 9 boost buckle that is like partially hidden in the driver. Like, the Desire driver we have, there should be some means to unlock boost Mark 9, but it's inaccessible to us because the other half of how to unlock it is in the buckle itself, supposedly. Which is why it didn't pop up in the, like, hacking people have done of the Desire driver, when they have found, I think, Mark 2 and Mark 3 boost.
But even knowing that, this could be one of those oddball points where, and I say oddball, but really it's not, where the main rider technically never has another belt.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't rule out that we could get supporting cast, and aka secondary tertiary rider status, using different drivers.
Right.
That's why I'm like, I'm not ruling that out. But it kind of makes me wonder if Geats is going to follow a similar pattern to like how Kamen did, where he can use the cards because of an upgrade.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering, because so far we've only seen Geats' like proper best match buckle. I'm starting to wonder if these other boosts that we're getting might technically be those other best matches in terms of coloration.
Maybe, but the only thing that makes me lean away from that is because of the fact of all the promotional material always was showing Geats with both Magnum and Boost.
Right.
Even though we knew that they could be used separately.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes me lean towards, no, they're really wanting Boost to be his.
Then that's going to personally annoy me, because I'm just like, are we not going to get the other halves of those? Because they made it a point in the show for Ace to say that all of the buckles have a one that they synergize with, and Magnum and Boost synergize with each other very well. They made that a point. Like, I think someone in Discord tried to correct me and be like, no, it's Boost. No, it's always Boost. I'm like, that's not what the fucking show said. The show said that there are specific pairs of buckles that synergize well with each other. Magnum and Boost are a pair of them. But Boost does not synergize with everything else, supposedly. At least not as well as it synergizes with Magnum. Like, the only reason everyone else used a Boost is because it was their focus episode, and Boost was the more or less the card of, hey, it's your focus episode, here is the Boost buckle. So you can do a big fancy finisher. Because apparently Boost, like, in terms of the made up numbers for the riders, the stats and stuff, just now Glare was the only thing able to trump anything that involved Boost. Pretty much, if anyone used Boost, they were automatically better, even better than like the jackpot forms.
I could see that. It almost makes me lean towards the fact that maybe Magnum Boost. Now, I'm only looking at the base ones.
Right.
Maybe Magnum Boost is the only true best match out there.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas everyone else's proper pair is from the jackpot kind of deal.
Maybe.
Because it does seem like doubling up on the first buckle did seem to synergize pretty well with everyone else.
Right.
So that's why I'm kind of like, I wonder if that was kind of the idea with this.
Yeah.
Was that really that one buckle is the synergy and boost is the outlier more so than the rule?
Right. I just wonder, like, because obviously Tycoon, like, he's getting command, and he'll presumably get something else further down the line. Even though I think Quarter 2 stuff has not specified if Tycoon is getting anything. Let me double check. So that kind of leaves Nago and Buffa, since they're the other two, like, main writers of the, or like the main, or part of the main group of writers we have for the series. Like, well, what are they getting upgrade wise? Because they'll probably get something, just because of how the suits and stuff are designed. Yeah, it talks about Geese as being the only one getting an upgrade in Quarter 2 stuff at the current moment. And it's just Boost Mark 2. So it's making me think that, like, maybe at least Buffa and Nago will get their, like, best match buckles, because they won't get, like, a proper upgrade like Command. Because Tycoon will probably be stuck with Command for the rest of the show until he gets something else. Maybe?
I don't think so. I really don't think he'll be stuck with Command.
Right.
I hate saying it, but I honestly think Buffa will be the one that gets stuck with Command.
Sounds about right. Tycoon gets something else, and then Buffa gets Command, and then Nago gets nothing. Until late in the show, they're like...
Not necessarily with Nago.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we might see something that works out better with hers.
Right.
But yeah, I get the feeling Buffa's actually going to be the one with Command at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because it is, the show is hardcore throwing Buffa like bottom of the group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just feel like with the introduction to Command and it seemingly universal outside of Geats, it seems kind of pointless to give any of the three of them their secondary buckles for their best matches, because it will be a downgrade from Command, kind of.
Question mark?
Yeah. But I'm also like, Command seems to be this kind of like kill streak reward kind of power up, so like presumably, unless we are dealing with mob fights all season, it can't function later down the line, because it won't be able to get powered up to go into like the full form, so it'll be just stuck in its like rising form.
Unless it's a case of when that, and this might be the reason why Buffa winds up with it, unless it's a case of, technically speaking, it's more based off of hits as opposed to kills.
Yeah.
Because yes, we've only seen it as kills. But I have to wonder if maybe there's something else there. And Buffa, being the stubborn one, would probably be the one to figure it out.
Yep. But yeah, I don't think anything else from the episode or anything else on Geats in general before we get into fucking Hibiki.
For all of about 10 minutes.
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, we've been talking Geats for like 30 minutes or so, and we're not going to talk about
Everyone expect that 30 minutes to pretty much be the most enjoyable part of this.
Yeah. Right? Or because you're ready to hear me complain about Dickhead, as I constantly refer to him as such in the notes.
It's like I said in the pre-show. My problem with him is we've introduced way too late. Earlier in the show, would he have been a likable character? Probably not. But it would have been nice to have seen the flip side. And maybe the driving force to, oh, I don't know, get the show to do something at the beginning.
Yeah.
But this late in, it's just like, why? We were already starting to move. Slow, but we were starting to move.
But shall we get the not nonsense episode out of the way?
The one that you had no notes for to begin with?
Yeah, because here's the thing. I was going to, as a fuck you to this show, because I don't know if I feel like continuing this show after this. I was going to copy down the writer wikis summaries for the three Inoue shows we were talking about this week and do proper notes for episode 29, which is the non-Inoue written episode. But guess what? Every episode past the staff change does not have a detailed summary. All of them. I don't know who's been doing these detailed summaries, but the fact that they stopped at the staff change probably says a whole lot about how much they were enjoying the show.
I mean, you're not wrong.
But let's look at episode 29, Shining Boy. So Asuma falls down the slope. Hibiki catches him, but Asuma loses his cell phone, so him and Hibiki are out of contact for a while.
But it's okay, because plot convenience will get them in the right place when they're needed.
Right. Todoroki and Hibiki are fighting the Makamau. They take out one of them. The other one gets away with Big Spider Friend that gets armor later because it's an armored spider.
I've got to now, because you left an empty spot there. You mean an iron spider? I know, bad joke. I'll see myself out now.
Is it weird that I feel like the MCU did a better version of the Iron Spider than the comics? Just in terms of design.
No, you're not wrong at all.
Okay. I just never cared for the all orange and yellow version of Iron Spider. I'm just like, no, the MCU version gets it right because it's still mainly Spider-Man colors, but it adds all these different accents and stuff that like is a little bit more Iron Man.
I mean, I like the comic one for the sense of more often than not that's depicted as, basically Peter Parker trying to imitate Iron Man.
Or that one time they gave
that completely feels like if Iron Man designed a Spider-Man suit, that is exactly what he would do.
Well, here's the thing in the comics. He did. That suit is actually from Tony.
That's why I'm like, yeah, that one fits perfectly.
Yeah.
The MCU one, yeah, that actually feels like what we would expect the MCU Iron Man to do. Something to kind of, no, you're your own thing. I just made the suit.
I made it better because I put all sorts of fancy stuff in it. You're welcome.
It's one of those, both suits work for what they are, but I still have to agree with you. No, the MCU one looks better.
Yeah.
But completely derailed.
Yeah, back at the episode. So they go out hunting for it and stuff. Asuma and Hibiki bond. Asuma still feels bad about stuff, but Hibiki's like, look, it's fine. Shit happens. You just gotta move forward with it. We also see that he, I guess, has to get like a special tree branch to make his drumsticks.
I guess.
He for some reason he needed to thank this random tree branch from this tree for being chopped down to size to be his new drumstick. Which makes me think, is it a special tree? Or a special wood?
Apparently.
I don't know. They didn't say otherwise. Oh, right, I see in the notes here, it says, again, which means he's done this before. So I guess it's the same tree? Should be weird, because it looked like it was down. I don't know. Eventually, I believe Hibiki and Todoroki track down the Makmao. They destroy the other human one. They fight the iron spider. It gets away. It eventually comes across Hibiki and Asuma. Hibiki fights it. He blows it up. Is that it? That feels like that's it.
I like that.
I feel like I'm missing a conversation with the mom, but I don't remember if that conversation with mom was fucking anything worth.
I don't think it was.
Okay. All right, so how'd you feel about that as, I guess also in general, like, the pre-staff change Hibiki?
It had too many slow spots. My issue.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I didn't hate any of the characters.
No.
There's more than I can say going into literally the first episode of the part of it.
It has been a while since I have despised a character within 5 minutes of them walking on screen. Or in his case, riding a bicycle on screen. It has been a while.
And you know what's bad? The writing someone as a jerk thing isn't really anything new kind of concept.
It's not even new with the person playing this fucking character.
Yeah.
Granted, this would be the first time he's played a character like this because Hibiki came before Deno, but...
Still.
I'm just looking over here at Geets, I'm like... Because I see it all the time where people are like, Geets is an asshole. Geets sucks. Geets is a dick. And I'm like, yes.
That's kind of how they wrote him.
Right, but there's depth to him. There's reasons for his assholeness and dickishness that you can infer based off his actions and stuff. And he's clearly not totally an asshole. Because he also has his moments of not being an asshole 24 fucking 7. Well, too bad that's not the case for this guy.
Also, the problem that I have when everyone's like, "Oh, I hate Gates," it's like, yeah. If you can't see that they wrote the show to make the viewer hate Gates at the beginning, then there's a problem there. They did that intentionally.
Yeah.
It's not a case of, like with us in Kabuto, where no, we completely hated him out the gate. And that was not how they meant for that.
Yeah.
Because they did not try to back up on that.
Oh, fuck no.
Instead, they proceeded every episode to double down on it. It's one of those, you can write a character to be a jerk. That's not the problem. Writing a character to be an unbearable jerk all the time they're on the screen is the problem.
Yeah.
And that's what we get.
And also having a guy who does all of this bullshit nonsense and people do not call him out on his bullshit nonsense at all also doesn't help. Because people call out Geets all the time on his bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, Kayla was more than willing to be like, dude, you're being a dick. And I also love that, like, to mention another thing from this week's Geets episode, I also love that Nago even pointed out of, like, is this all manipulation? Is this all part of the plan, too?
Yeah.
Like, she knows that how he acts and what he does.
They've all learned.
Yeah.
Which,
and it's also
what was immensely funny with this week's episode of Gates is that was called out.
Right.
To then, by the end of the episode, find out that yes, he did actually have a plan this entire time.
Or at least he had a plan at the start of the fight with Command. As soon as he saw Punk Jack and Buffalo talking to each other, it's like, okay, I've got a plan now.
I love the fact that this is all part of your plan. 20 minutes later, yes it was.
Anyway, yeah. Fuck. Like, I was enjoying Hibiki up to here, even with its slow stuff. Like, it absolutely would not be one of my favorites. Not by a long shot.
No.
This is lucky to make it to the middle of my not bad, not more bad than good tier at this point. Because I feel like it's going to end up right in the middle in there somewhere. Because I'm like, I don't hate it, but I don't particularly like it. So it's just going to go here in the middle. Somewhere. I don't know where. But these 3 episodes have soured me on the show so hard. But shall we talk about them?
I guess.
So, episode 30, Forging Premonition. So, we follow up with Asuma heading home, and that's when Dickhead shows up and challenges him to a race on his bike. Just randomly. Not even a, hey, you want to race on your bikes? He's just like, ready, go! That's like... I do like the first time Asuma's like, what the fuck is your problem? What is wrong with you?
Little did he know that would be the question everyone would for too long.
Yeah. So Asuma actually decides to actually race him the second time, but then the random puppy shows up and Asuma has to swerve to not run over puppy, and then Dickhead has the gall to be like, ha ha, I beat you, bye! Like he's some cartoon bully. Like, did you not see the dog as well, you fucking absolute dumpster fire of a person? But this takes us to the sweet shop. Apparently, Boss and Hinaka are out with a cold, so Asuma and Kasumi are having to run the shop. And Hibiki also runs the shop for a little bit. By the way, he also quietly goes, hey, have you heard about this new movie featuring 7 people and all this and that?
I saw that and I'm like,
plug,
shameless plug.
plug, go watch our movie, plug. But then we head to the school where Asuma finds out that a dickhead is Kyosuke Kirya. He's a new student. He does a thing about he says a thing to the teacher about the teacher's handwriting not being good enough for his name. First of all, fuck off. Second of all, fuck you. And then later on, he gets on the teacher's case about the teacher's pronunciation of English, and then challenges him to a pronunciation contest, and then starts pronouncing shit in French. Because fuck you, rules? There's no rules. What is his problem? This is two scenes in a row where all he has been is just aggressively confrontational for no good reason.
I think what's happened here is he misunderstood life or jail.
Apparently.
He doesn't have to take down the biggest person to get everyone on his side.
Except he's not even taking down a big person. He's just bullying Asuma for no fucking good reason.
I mean, he is the biggest person in the show.
True.
And I can't believe that I have to say that.
Yeah, but then later people fawn over this dickhead, be like, oh, aren't you so cool and stuff? And kind of shove Asuma aside, being like, no, this isn't your show anymore. It's his show now. I'm like...
Which the fact of the matter is, it's neither of their shows.
Right. It just feels like some part of me is just like, in a way, is literally just doing this just to be spiteful. Just be like, no, fuck Asuma. He sucks. I don't want him in the show anymore. Here's a literal character that is shoving Asuma to the side at every point. Because he can.
I mean, yeah, completely spiteful. That's exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, people fawn over him, and he orders like he has sushi delivered to him, which the kid's like, that's kind of against rules. And he's like, nah, it isn't. This doesn't specifically say in the rules. And I'm like, I mean, just because it isn't doesn't mean anything. Absolutely not. Anywho, in the main plot of the episode, supposedly, there's a fire wheel Bakamal terrorizing and killing people, and Hibiki and the Kira are in pursuit, and it takes them the whole episode to track it down into the middle of the night to fight it, and Hibiki doesn't do a good job fighting it, so Hibiki has to come in and fight it for a little bit.
Spoiler alert, he doesn't do a good job either.
Yeah, also at some point in all this, Dickhead invites Asuma over to his house apartment thing to continue to belittle him because he also called him boring, and I'm like, okay, first of all, you're correct, but second of all, you're still an asshole. Third of all, that doesn't mean that you aren't a fucking miserable ass character to watch either. But as Hibiki's fighting it, one of his drumsticks gets knocked out of his hands, and Asuma has to grab it and toss it to Hibiki because, you know, Asa gets to have a big hero moment, and that gets immediately overshadowed by fucking Dickhead being like, Dad? You're like my dad. I need to surpass you. I need to beat you. Because someone has daddy issues, and someone's going to be projecting those daddy issues onto someone else here in a little bit. But that'll take us to 31, surpassing father. Asuma tells the dickhead to keep all the Oni stuff a secret. He's like, sure, I will, totally. But then he tries to worm his way into more of Asuma's life via Hitomi. Because he's like, oh, how's this person's life? How's this, that, and the other? And then he finds out where Asuma lives and just gets himself invited in, and then he projects his daddy issues onto Asuma because apparently Asuma's dad divorced his mom and lives somewhere else, and he doesn't know why. Now we find this out.
Now this becomes a relevant plot.
Yeah. So the entire episode, Asuma tries to go track down his dad and can't find his dad because his dad is so busy being a good person. I think, I'll be honest, I just blanked out for all of this because that was how much I gave a shit. I think I literally stopped caring as Asuma was going on this journey. So I don't even know if his dad is actually a decent human being. Did you?
I mean, I didn't pay much.
Fair. So he does all that, but he does make a doghouse for his dad before leaving. Also, Hibiki beats the monster by the end of the episode. That was happening, but that was like, I think, 5% of the episode. You know, in this Kamen Rider show about Kamen Riders.
Yeah. You know, in his show.
Yeah.
He was in there for like 5%, dealing with the B plot.
I think at some point Dickhead tried to challenge Hibiki to some sort of contest and was like, no. So last episode, because I'm just gonna roll all three of these together, a bursting song. Random guy shows up, gets stopped by the cops to ask for a license for some reason, and then berates the cop, and then gets to spank him.
And doesn't go to jail.
Right? But apparently this guy is the head researcher of Takashi, and he has a fancy new sword for the Oni, but the sword is too strong. So the Oni can't use it without de-transforming, and by de-transforming, I mean they lose their helmet because they have to adhere to the plot point that if they de-transform, they are naked as fuck. So, no helmet to represent the fact that they are depowered. Also, during the entire episode, there is more drama with Dickhead, and I don't fucking care. I literally don't give a shit. But at some point, they fight a monster. Todoroki tries to use the sword. It doesn't work. And then Hibiki, I think, picks up the sword and tries to use it. And then the episode ends there. Again, I think I blinked out whenever drama bullshit was happening. So I blinked out for major chunks of this episode.
I feel like I didn't blank out as much as I immediately forgot after the episode.
That too. So yeah, that's episode 32. How do you feel about our first 3 in a way episodes?
I mean, it was 3 episodes.
This was the worst 3 episodes of Hibiki.
I can't argue with that.
I was wondering if you were trying to figure out if there were 3 worse episodes than this.
I was. And there's not. I mean, now if you had said this is the most boring episodes, then no, I would have disagreed with you.
Right. Like, these 3 episodes got an emotion out of me. Unfortunately, that emotion was, fuck off, I want to stop watching this show. Instead of, it's fine. I'll probably keep watching this episode, the show, maybe. So, yeah, fucked a lot of this. Also, considering we kind of mentioned it before, Dickhead is played by Zeranos' actor. Before he played Zeranos and Deno. So, I'm literally watching an actor play a character that is a literal worse version than the character he'll play in like 2 years. Because like Zeranos is confrontational and stuff, but like at least he's a human fucking being instead of just an attention-seeking, just dumpster fire of a person who all he wants to do is fight about stuff and belittle people at every turn. Like, sir, you can fuck right off. The whole lot of you. So yeah, I guess, would you like to continue down this road?
I feel like that is a loaded question.
I was about to say, my vote is no. I don't want to watch anymore because I thought, oh, it's a gradual decline and stuff because I, at least had the Final Form debut and stuff, and that was fine. And then I watched these episodes and I'm like, I must have blacked out all of the drama bullshit because God, it is insufferable.
I'm on the fence. Part of me wants to give it a shot. The other part of me is like, I don't think I can handle going much farther.
Okay, so are you willing to take one more week, a full week of in a way bullshit episodes? Because I will go one more week.
YOLO. Only on the only on the fact of if we have to still deal with the same crap through all 4 of the next episodes, that will be it.
The benefit is we'll get to watch Seven Oni when we're done. The dumb part is the same people that wrote Seven Oni wrote this, and somehow Seven Oni is better. And I don't understand. I literally don't understand. But I guess anything else?
No.
All right then. You're not doing the Dread Rando, or trying to do the Train Rando, right?
Right.
Right. I guess we'll pick it up Thursday with me doing Violet. I actually got all my grinding done.
Nice.
Yeah, thankfully where I'm at in the game at 6 badges, I have access to at most 3-star raids because the raids are actually badge locked, if I recall correctly. In terms of like the difficulty of raids you can go after. I have to double check. Wherever... Oh, there it is. Right, I have 5 badges. At 6 badges, you'll get 4-star raids in rotation. But until you get credits, you won't have access to 5 or... What's that? Or... Yeah, 5-star raids? And then 6-star raids are after the tournament thing. And apparently you only get 1 6-star raid a day. And then 7-star raids are event stuff. But you pretty much have to beat the main story and all that to pretty much unlock the highest level raid stuff, which makes sense. So it's a little weird because I don't think Sword and Shield were like that.
I don't think it was directly like that, but it was still somewhat like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you were locked to certain levels based off of how much progress you made in it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm at level 40 for the whole team, and my next progression marker is like 41, 42, so I'm well within range. So I should be good for the next couple of streams, because I should be able to go progression-wise forward now. Yeah, that's Thursday. Friday will be us continuing to hopefully not be lost in Majora's Mask since we got a little lost for a while.
I will continuously get lost.
That is why I pulled up a guide on the side to be like, help, which way am I going?
I have not.
Granted, as soon as I got at least an idea of where to go, I didn't really need the guide because it felt like I had to go this, progress was clear. Like, once I figured out how to get to the Deku Palace thing, it was like, oh, okay, I do this to this to this to this to the, okay. And once I figured out how to get to the dungeon thing, it was clear from there because the dungeon wasn't like super like extra path stuff, so it was clear where to go to get progression. So that's how I was able to get to the boss room without really looking at the guide, actually. So yeah, that will be Friday. Saturday will be TGS. We'll get to talk about the Game Awards. Hooray! And
Yay.
I guess the continuing saga of Microsoft trying to acquire Activision and the FTC being like, no, 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 you got to go through us first. And apparently the FTC is doing a very bad job of that. So we'll see. And then next week, we dare to watch more Hibiki. Oh, I'm not ready. Yeah, if you like what you're seeing, folks, drop a follow. Really appreciate it. Jump away that feel like go at Teachers on Twitter because you have Facebook Live. Twitch point Discord Jack is also like drop by, say hi. See you Thursday, folks.